You call them a virtual professional, which I love that name, virtual professional. Some people call them VAs, virtual assistants. It's the same person. A VP or a VA is the exact same person. Your virtual professionals, they're out of the Philippines. Is that correct?
Yeah, and we do that for a real specific reason. Number one, 94% of the country is actually Catholic, so they share the same value systems as we do. And a can of soda, the simplest explanation, a can of soda costs 25 to 50 cents over there. That same soda is $2 in the US. Yeah. There's just a value in, it's just cheaper to live there. And so there's lots of opportunities for small and medium-sized businesses who haven't yet outsourced or taken advantage of virtual professionals.
I'll tell a personal story. I met Daniel years ago at a conference, and he was pitching VAs to me. And I'm like, at the time, I didn't really believe in virtual assistants. I'm a high D, like most top producing agents are. I wanted to see, touch, and feel you. If I couldn't see you, I thought there was value. Then Michael Resser, the host of this conference, this call today, he said to me, he goes, Bob, how many people work for you? And I go, 33. He goes, how many work in your office? I go, 9. He goes, well, don't you already run a virtual company? It was like a 2x4 hit me upside of the head. I was like, boom. And then I think a month later, actually, is when I met Daniel, and it really intrigued me. I hired my first virtual professional from Daniel, probably 10 years ago. And she still worked, I believe, she worked for the company until I sold my business. And then I hired another one through Daniel. Matter of fact, John, who is my virtual assistant, he actually replaced over $100,000 in salary. And John, hopefully you're not listening, to that, but John replaced $100,000 in salary for like $1,900 a month. So you're talking less than $24,000. So what did I do? I went out and bought a boat, because I had a higher net profit thanks to Daniel Ramsey. More and more people are going the route of the virtual professional, on both operations, because guys, think about it. I can pay less than $2,000 a month for an ops person from MyOutDesk. I can pay $30,000 to $40,000 to hire somebody in-house. Take the time to train them on what you want. The thing is, if you're just starting out, it's all about leveraging time versus money. And if you're going to hire somebody, that's why you hire them, to leverage your time so you can focus on your dollar productive activities. And remember, list, prospect, sell, negotiate. That's where, as an agent, you make money. Another quick question from Snyder. Do you find that training is easier with the VB than training in-house? Actually, I find training a VP much easier than in-house, because I don't have to spend as much time, in my opinion. But go ahead, Daniel.
Well, here's what's different. When they're not physically, and Misty is going to be wonderful in explaining that.
We got to bring her on soon.
Yeah, we're going to bring her on soon. But when they're not physically in your office, you can't just grab a person and say, hey, I've got tribal knowledge. I want to bump heads together, and I want to share that tribal knowledge with you. You have to build it into things like a lot of our clients use Trello, use Slack, use Monday, Asana, these task management platforms where they can help communicate what the work is, right? And a lot of our clients are using Zoom, so you can do video conversations and record videos and create training processes. What's more difficult is when somebody is virtual, you have to be a little bit more disciplined about communication and system and process.
How many virtual professionals do you use from MyOutDesk?
So I have 4 full-time virtual professionals from MyOutDesk, and they've each been with me anywhere from 4 to 8.5 years.
Jeez.
Wait, excuse me. 4 to 8.5 years?
Yeah. Like, they are the most seasoned members of my organization.
And what roles do those virtual professionals play for you?
So they really handle so many different aspects of our organization, from listing coordination, transaction coordination, monitoring information about the financials of the business. They assist in reminders to our agents, as well as reminders to agents that we're working with. really every aspect of the business they touch, as well as a lot of accountability tasks, tracking tasks to help make sure that everyone is doing what they need to do.
Wait, I thought you hired virtual professionals, not a CEO. It sounds like Daniel, she just described the responsibilities of a CEO, didn't she?
Well,
okay.
The responsibilities of a CEO is to make sure it's getting done, not to be the one
Right.
that's doing it. And I think Misty's doing a beautiful job of that.
Why did you first choose to go to MyOutDesk?
Well, it's interesting because when I first started working with MyOutDesk, I had a very, very different business. But at that time, my business was very REO focused and a lot of repetitive tasks. And I was at a conference and just heard what agents that I was aspiring to have businesses like, what they did. And I had someone say to me when I was talking about like what was the next step, and I had a really difficult time finding the right kind of assistance locally. And so it was more like, oh, I had a client that was looking for part-time work and had mentioned it to me, or someone who was in my office that wasn't very productive as an agent. So I tried, and I know that's what a lot of people do when they first are trying to get an assistant to help with things. Find someone who actually can assist you in a better way. And the great thing about MyOutDesk is that you let them know what kind of systems you use, what kind of tasks you're looking for someone to do. And instead of flying completely blind into it, they're going to have some sort of access to information about the types of systems that you use. They're going to have some sort of frame of reference of this is why they're going to be able to fill this role. And I found immediately that it was just so helpful. 2 of my virtual professionals worked for other teams or real estate organizations before they worked for me. And so they had so much knowledge already, and it just so cut down the time to get them up and running.
So Misty, what would you say to the person listening today that has never hired a virtual professional, that is intrigued by it? What would you say to them now?
Well, I would say if you have someone that is assisting you in person, anytime I've had someone in a role locally leave, we really break down what were all of the different tasks they were responsible for.
Misty, bottom of my heart, thank you for taking time out of your day to impart your wisdom to the folks listening that are searching right now. Daniel, as always, you're the master of virtual professionals in the world. Okay, and I can't thank you enough for the effort, the passion that you put in to really helping people achieve a better life. So thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Misty, for being here today.
Please, you have any questions, Bob at bobcorcoran.com, Daniel at myoutdesk.com, Misty at mistysoldwich.com, correct? Folks, we appreciate you. We want to respect your boundaries. Thank you for being with us today. We look forward to connecting with you in the future, and stay tuned for our next educational webinar.